From Third Blatt Court on the campus of Carleton College in Northfield, we present another edition of the Minnesota Girls Basketball All-Star Series. It's the 2018 edition. You know how it goes. The Stars and the Stripes and blue versus white. 42 of the state's top seniors come together for a final send-off. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Peden, and I'm joined by an all-star from her days at Oakland Tech, I presume. Alexis Gray-Lawson, you may recognize her from her time at California or with the Phoenix Mercury. Alexis, you don't have any players in this field, but you've had a chance to see and go up against a lot of athletes who will take part. What can we expect from the 2018 class today?
I think overall you'll see everybody having a lot of energy. They'll be getting up and down the floor, hopefully shooting a lot of threes, which I love in particular. But I'm excited to see Morgan Hill play for sure.
Morgan Hill, Emma Grothaus, Megan Wallstad, a lot of big names. 8 members in this year's field set school records in career scoring. 7 are part of the 2,000 point club, and 5 made the top 10 in this year's state scoring race. So there may not be that super score like Andrea Adams a couple years ago, but we're going to see a lot of points today.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see a lot of people shoot. Like I said, you'll see some kids from different programs as far as Hopkins, some of the perimeter programs like Minnetonka. I'm excited to watch them play. It'll be good to see all the kids be together.
And earlier today, the seniors had a chance to run a clinic with Lindsay Whalen and Rebecca Brunson. Of course, they got all of the pageantry associated with this event. What makes the All-Star Series so special?
I mean, obviously you get a bunch of young women that are getting ready to go and definitely deal with their college careers, but you also get a bunch of kids that look up to these girls. So you see a lot of community involvement, which I love to watch, and you also get the links who get to come in and support that, so I'm excited.
Well, I'm sure there are a few athletes who look up to you as well.
Well, I'm glad.
Now, normally we'll introduce the starters, but as always with an all-star event, we're going to let the seniors do the honors. So here's a look at the players who will be taking part in your game.
My name is Bailey Becker. I'm a guard from Sauk Rapids. I plan on attending the College of St. Benedict next year, and my favorite player is Ricky Rubio.
I'm Katelyn Strand. I'm a point guard at Fergus Falls High School. Next year I'm going to Concordia College in Moorhead, and my favorite player is Jimmy Butler.
My name's Emma Schmidt. I'm a point guard, and I go to Wheaton Area High School. Next year I'll be going to UMD, and my favorite player is Maya Moore.
Okay, I'm Heaven Hamling. I'm from Grand Rapids High School. I play point guard. I will be attending Stephen F. Austin State University, and my favorite player is LeBron James.
I'm Taylor Brown. I go to Lakeville North High School. I'll be attending American University, and I'm a forward, and my favorite basketball player is Rachel Banham.
My name is Carmen Backus. I am a wing. I am from Chisago Lakes High School, and I'm going to attend the University of Wisconsin next year, and my favorite player is Maya Moore. I'm Sidney Lodermeier from Goodhue High School. I'm a forward. Next year I will be attending Winona State University, and my favorite player is Maya Moore.
My name is Megan Sieben. I'm from Sartell. I am a wing, and I plan on attending the University of Minnesota. And my favorite basketball player is Ricky Rubio.
My name is Kelsey Lund. I go to Lakeville Valley High School. I am a guard. I plan on going to the University of Northwestern St. Paul, and my favorite player is Russell Westbrook.
My name is Maya Chmielewski. I go to Mare Lutheran High School. I am a guard. I plan on attending Dort in Iowa, and my favorite player is LeBron James.
Hi, I'm Bren Fox. I'm from Norwood-Young, America. I plan on attending the University of Minnesota Crookston next year, and my favorite basketball player is Lindsay Whalen.
Hi, I'm Christy Fett. I go to Lyle High School, and I play center. Next year I'm going to Mankato State, and my favorite player is Maya Moore.
Hi, I'm Rachel Hakes. I go to Woodbury High School. I play point guard. Next year I'm attending Fairfield University in Connecticut, and my favorite player is Diana Taurasi.
Sidney Stapleton, guard, Centennial High School, South Dakota State University. My favorite player is Maya Moore.
My name is Maddy Heiderscheit. I'm from Sleepyhead Public High School. I'm a point guard. Next year I'll be going to St. Ben's, and my favorite player is Steph Curry. I'm Shay Oman. I go to New London Spicer High School. I'm a guard. Next year I'm going to Bemidji State University, and my favorite player is Kyrie Irving.
I'm Maddie Loader. I'm from Orono High School. I'm a point guard. Next year I'll be going to George Washington University in Washington, D.C. And my favorite players are Elena Deladon and Trey Young.
My name is Megan Walstead. I'm a forward. I go to Eastview High School. Next year I plan on attending the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and my favorite player is Maya Moore.
My name is Jaylee Bierman. I'm a guard from Princeton High School. Next year I'll be attending the University of St. Thomas, and my favorite athlete is Jimmy Butler.
I'm a Groothouse, stretch post, Maddy Heiderscheit High School, Lehigh University. My favorite player is Candace Parker.
Kelsey Peschel, guard, Sauk Center High School, St. Cloud State University, and my favorite player is Maya Moore.
And we've met the teams for the blue and white groups who will take part in this All-Star Series. And where do my programs keep going? That's where.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2018 All-Star Basketball Series, sponsored by
So, Alexis, we're going to see the remaining three finalists for Miss Basketball, including this year's winner, Megan Wallstad, in our second pairing.
I'm excited to see that. I got an opportunity to finally. I tried not to stay away from the tourney a little bit and go back to it, and I got to really watch Megan, and she's phenomenal.
And I've noticed too, even if you're not in it, it's hard to stay away from the state tournament because,
absolutely.
Well, some like Willie Taylor are part of the Miss Basketball Committee or all tournament committee, so they have to be there to evaluate the players. And no, that's what everyone's talking about at this time of the year. So the coaches for the blue and white are 3A and 4A. So for the blue, it's Chris Hamling and Monica Beachley from Grand Rapids. And in 4A, Molly Casper and Bree Zabel from Eastview. Bree Zabel also part of the All-Star Committee. Zabel grew up here in Northfield, and Casper winning her first state championship as a coach, and she'll be adding another Casper to the family here pretty soon.
Oh, nice.
Also coaches softball, but can't do much right now.
Yeah.
So here we go. Kelsey Peschel out of Sauk Center, younger sister of Callie, who went to Iowa. Rachel Hakes, she's going to Fairfield, scored over 1,500 at Woodbury. Shay Oman out of New London Spicer, a 2A perennial. And Bierman out of Princeton. Princeton having a solid year in the Mississippi 8. Maddy Heiderscheit out of Sleepy Eye, all-time leading scorer, and reached the championship in Class A. Maddie Loader, 10th in the state in scoring, won a title last year for the Spartans. Emma Groothouse didn't reach state, but is the all-time leader in points, rebounds, and blocks from Audemars. And Sidney Stapleton, one of the many standouts at Centennial. Wallstad Miss Basketball, the all-time leader in rebounds and blocks at Eastview. Christy Fett won a championship this year for Lyle-Pacelli, finished second in the state in scoring. Kelsey Lund, all-time leading scorer with 2,317. Hamling, 2,781, all-time leading scorer at Grand Rapids, reached the semifinals in the 3A state tournament this year. Backus unable to play as she recovers from the ACL injury, but she did finish third in the state in rebounds. Maya Chmielewski, all-time leading scorer at Mary Lutheran, 1,503 points. Bren Fox, member of the 1,000 Rebound Club, passed that this year. Emma Schmidt out of Wheaton-Herman-Norcross. And Taylor Brown, one of the many standouts to come out of Lakeville North. Sydney Lodermeier, two-time state tournament champion for Goodhue in Class A, 2016 and 2017. Megan Sieben out of Sartell. Bailey Becker out of Sauk Rapids Rice. Now, Alexis, your money was on the Stripes team in our first meeting, and they were successful. The blue and the white, who do you got here?
I got the white. I mean,
got the white?
Obviously, they got a lot of talent on one team. They can definitely push pace, and they can definitely shoot a lot of threes out at one time. But I definitely won't count out the blue team. Obviously, they definitely got some ballers on their team as well.
The leading scorer from the first game with 22 points was Brooklyn DeCam.
Well, Brooklyn DeCam led with 22 points, of course. As we said in the first game, it's just like who's lined it in anyway. Points don't matter.
Yeah.
Points are just like those preseason games you played with Phoenix.
Seriously.
Well, they didn't matter for you. For fans, let's just say I've had my share of folks who take them way too seriously.
I mean, it's
you lose
a
a
good thing,
preseason game.
though.
Oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah. I mean,
Dude,
people have to understand, like, preseason really is for you to really look at your team and evaluate, but at the same time, you got a lot of new talent and a lot of new faces, especially in the W. That's always the adjustment from the college to the pros. So
Right.
you got to enjoy that process.
Right. For me, the preseason is just a battle for who's going to win those bubble spots on the roster.
Yep. That's exactly what it's about.
So the blue wearing the dark, the white wearing the white. Simple enough. And we'll get things started here with Maddy Heiderscheit out of Sleepy Eye. Sleepy Eye had an upset run to the championship in Class A, knocking off Mountain Iron Buell in the semis. No, they surprised everybody. Heiderscheit missing the mid-range J. And the rebound goes to number 11. That's Katelyn Strand. Again, everyone wears their jerseys, so we will have duplicate numbers. So you've got a pair of 11s out there right now.
I'm curious to see how Heaven does in this game. Obviously, she's on another team where she can obviously dominate. I love the fact she can pass the ball, get to the basket.
Just on and right on cue, she finds Chmielewski.
Assisted by Hamling.
Now Hamling, a great player at Grand Rapids.
Absolutely.
Made state for 3 years in a row. Stapleton knocks down the three.
Assisted by Wolstead.
And Sidney Stapleton, if I'm not mistaken, and I never am, most of the time. She'll go to South Dakota State, a school that's put up a lot of Minnesota recruits, including Maddie Giebert, who's been quite the scoring extraordinaire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maddie Giebert won a state title in 2014, was 2015 Miss Basketball. Megan Wallstad, who's on the floor right now, the 2018 Miss Basketball. Emma Groothuis. I've seen her do that many times over the last couple of years with Mahtomedi. She's quicker than she looks.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of folks, you see it, let's be real, Evan Hamling fires the three, swish. But you look at someone like Groothuis and you see, oh, here's some tall white girl. She doesn't have any moves or any agility. Emma she's someone who would smash that stereotype.
Well, it's funny because you see her continually grow over the years. I mean, she didn't handle the ball in the last 2 years as much, and then this year she kind of really was ball managed. So it was really great to see that part, obviously being one of our section components. You know, obviously I wouldn't have liked it, but at the same time, you love to see players grow and continue to get there.
Stapleton misses the three there. I'll put it this way. Much like Morgan Hill, it's one of those players you hated to scout, but
yeah, absolutely
fun to watch. One thing Matamidi wasn't able to do was get to the state tournament. They lost to De La Salle in the section final, and when it didn't help matters when Annika Sogstad went down with a knee injury early into their section final with De La Salle.
Yeah.
And so that took away their ball handler, and De La Salle's defense was able to contain Emma and the rest of the team. And that being said, Heaven Hamling fires, can't hit the 16-footer. You know, you have to give props to what Emma did for Matamidi. I spoke with her back in December, as we've got a 3 on the way. That will be short from 13. Shea Oman. Grodau said she liked being the face of Matamidi. Some girls, some guys would be sheepish about being the star of a program, but I think for Emma and like many of these girls, being the face of the program means you've got something.
Absolutely.
Just like Evan Hamling, who takes the feed from Taylor Brown. Evan Hamling going to Stephen F. Austin.
The one thing that I really loved about Hamlin's game, and especially the last couple of years, as you've seen her kind of develop, she really took all the big shots. She wasn't afraid of it. She didn't shy away from it, which you tend to get from younger players. I never saw that from her.
Right, you get some folks that are a bit hesitant, or like the classic, you get the ball and you're not sure what to do with it.
Exactly.
Even though, how many times have I said this, you'll never be more open than when you first get a pass.
Seriously.
Wallstad finds number 20. Julia Bjurman, Rachel Hakes. Speaking of players who could win games, that's one of them. 3 is no good from Kelsey Peschel. Rachel Hakes, Woodbury didn't have a lot this year, but she was a player, who had to carry the load with folks like CeCe Keeger, who graduated the past year. Hakes could win games by herself, and she almost did that in the 4-4A section playoff. She did against Stillwater, stepped up big, and had a nice performance against Cretan, but missed a fadeaway that would have tied it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, and she's, again, you get players, especially in this game, you find a lot of players that definitely have developed their games and have been really crucial parts of not only their programs, but for their teammates in general.
But there will be another one in Solo Amusain at Woodbury. Wallstad going to Milwaukee. Hakes going to Fairfield. And she knocks down the 3.
Rachel Hakes in the basket, assisted by Wallstad.
And they've got the blue with 10 and white with 5. That's why I said, okay, now it's right. It's 8-7. It's an all-star series. Who's keeping track, right?
That's fair. I think more than anything, everyone's just enjoying the kids.
Hakes missing the layup. A bit of a sluggish start compared to the first one. Strand finds Hamling. The pair of 11s. The dish to Bren Fox. We do have a shot clock here, 6 to shoot. Hamling fires. Bullseye. So one of our more deliberate possessions here. Here is Peschel. And
she's been getting out in the passing lane. Like, this is, I think, the second or third time.
Well, like we said, these girls will play some defense. And we'll get our first look at some of the subs here. There's Lodermeier, Maddie Loder from Orono. And Orono had a rough year, losing folks like, right on the tip of my tongue. But a high-low play for Christy Fed, and when you've got a 6'5" option down low, you'll take it. But they had that strong senior class a year ago, Orono did.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It can be tough to replicate, because I know at the start of the season you beat them by 22, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, it's hard to be able to rebound that quickly. And I don't think that playing us the first game was any helpful. Obviously we were bringing back a team that we had for about 2 years and kind of already knew our identity. And I think Orono was really just trying to figure out what their identity was going to be. It's hard to lose players the way that they did. So I'll be going through some of that rebuilding process as well. So we'll see how mine goes as well.
Bren Fox scoring for Norwood-Young America. That was a high-low, a little too high.
She thought she was
there's
throwing an
high-low,
alley.
and then there's really high-low.
She was just throwing an alley. That's what it was.
I know Christy's tall, but not that tall. And there's Kelsey Lawn, the shortest player, I believe, in this year's fields, listed at 5'3". And as you know, of course, height not always indicative of talent. Next year, I think McKenna Hoffschild from Prior Lake could be in this series. She's listed at 5'3", but won the state scoring race this year. The year before you came, Andrea Adams, who's 5'8", if that, won the state scoring race her junior year, and Taylor Brown with the steal. Officially, I think you're 5'8", or that was your listed height?
Yep.
Lodermeier knocks down a three. 15
Well,
to
when
10.
I was growing up, I was definitely on the smaller end. Everybody was bigger than me, so.
And you did a few things over in California.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, when I did some research, I didn't know that your jersey's retired at Oakland Tech.
It is. Yep. I'm actually in the Oakland Hall of Fame as well as of last year, so some good things.
Maybe one day we'll get you in the Coaches Hall of Fame.
Let's hope so.
15 to 10, blue over white. Taylor Brown drives. Christy Fett with the rejection. Now, Lyle-Pacelli, here's something interesting. Every year they swap between gyms because it's a co-op. Lund almost had it. Brown, three is short, and Loder with the board. Loder was the bright spot for an Orono team that did their best with what they had, but it's tough, and same thing with Elk River when you lose so many seniors who were a part of your identity. And Orono going through a coaching change of their own a couple years ago. So, Lavessa Glover Verhagen taking over. She had a pretty strong team with her, but
it's always a process, I think, as a coach.
And especially for schools like Orono,
where
you don't have that population center. Free throws coming for number 32. Megan Sieben out of Sartell-St. Stephen. She'll go to Minnesota playing intramural basketball and soccer. Her biggest influence was her father, so we have Loder firing the three that's short. And it doesn't happen often, but you get some players that decide to move on to other things at the next level, and that's perfectly fine. Brown lines up the three. Swish. So the blue team getting a little momentum here to end the first quarter. 27 points on the clock.
They're really pushing pace, playing good D. I think they're being a little bit more cautious than the last teams, but it's definitely working for them.
Loder for three. Pure. Oh, it's just like the first game. Get your three-point shot going, and then everything else will fall into place, right?
Yep.
White team with a chance. There's that. Hey, we got a trap. Emma Groothouse almost runs into Christy Fett. Oh, I would have loved that. And the two have a laugh. Groothouse and Fett share a laugh, and why not? 19 to 13 our score at the end of quarter number one. You got to coach against Emma Groothouse 3 times. You met once last year. You got the win. This year, Matamidi swept you guys. What was it about her that made her such a tough opponent?
I mean, first of all, her length, her height, she's developed more in her game. Her three-point percentage obviously went up this year, so that was another focus. When you got a kid that's that dominant on the block, and now she brings up these other things, three-point shooting gets better. She can handle the ball now. Now you got really no one that can compete with that. So, you definitely just, for her, you just want to make sure that obviously you're pushing pace a little bit. But again, her being in shape this year and being injury-free really helps.
So let's take a look at some of the folks in this game. We mentioned Backus, unable to play, finished third in the state in rebounds. Emma Groothouse, the all-time leading scorer, rebounder, and blocker at Mahtomedi. So even though she didn't get a state tournament appearance to her resume, she's going to leave a legend at Mahtomedi. And I can't wait to see what she does at Lehigh, where she'll join Mariah Sexy, Hannah Hedstrom, and Megan Walker.
Yeah.
Evan Hamling, as we noted, member of the 2,000-point club. Lund also there.
I know that's one thing that like Lee will definitely be looking forward to is more of an up-paced team. I know in the past sometimes they've struggled not having so much length in bigs. And so with having Emma and some of the other girls that obviously can score and do a variety of things, I think it'll really help their program.
Megan Wallstad, fourth all-time in scoring at Eastview, but the leading blocker and rebounder, 183 and 729 respectively, also holds the single game record for most blocks with 12. And that Eastview team, much like Hopkins, it's never one person that does the workload. It's anybody.
Absolutely.
I covered the section final with Apple Valley, and Wallstad, actually everybody struggled. The first half was 14-11, but Megan Wallstad and Macy Gieberts hooked up, and success sometimes breeds success. That's why Eastview, they've been to state for 7 years in a row. Hopkins, they seemingly get to the championship every year.
Yeah, I mean, Eastview is a great program. You could tell that I've heard about some of the things that they've done in the summertime, obviously working and playing with each other. I think helping and playing with each other really helps their program a lot. And so it's really been fun to watch them continue to develop their players.
And then Christy Fett, second in the state in scoring, as we noted. And a couple of others. Heiderscheit didn't get to the 2,000-point club, but will leave with school record. Chmielewski, another one. A rainbow three falls for Emma Schmidt, one of the pair of 23s. Wallstad goes up, can't get the drive on Brown. Those are two South Suburban rivals going at it, and Eastview and Lakeville North, they've had plenty of memorable matches over the years. When you look at Cassie Rochelle, Rachel Banham and Lakeville North with Eastview, Madison Giebert, Megan Wallstad now.
Yeah, I've been able to see a
Tyra
couple
Johnson.
of them, and you just love watching them two battle each other.
And that's just in conference.
Yeah.
And they met in state as well in the semifinals. But those are two schools that are always going to be in the thick of it. Lodermeier missing the three-pointer. Lodermeier out of Goodhue. And Goodhue, they didn't get to state this year. Lyle-Pacelli knocked them out in the playoffs, but when they won their second title last year, it was a 66-point swing, unprecedented at this level. They met with Mountain Iron Buell at the Tip-Off Classic. They got destroyed, lost by 44 points. They end up winning by 22 in the championship over Mountain Iron Buell. Oh, and I've got a couple of Goodhue. I have the Goodhue players next to me, and they can confirm this. Well, no, what do you mean, oops? They won the title. So they don't care if they got beat by 44, right? Because they won the second one. But that shows you.
They won the one that counts.
Right. Well, and that tells you, as Wallstad misses there, that you never know what will happen from one match to the next when a team meets 2 or 3 times.
Well, I think it's hard to play someone a multiple amount of times and it not to be competitive, because once you get beat like that once, you promise yourself you're not going to be like that again. So it really is a focal point.
Chmielewski scoring for Mary Lutheran. Well, look, South and Wayzata, we mentioned that in the last game.
Yeah.
South, I don't know if Wayzata was looking ahead to Hopkins, who knows, but South was like, hey,
we're here.
We're here, and we didn't like what happened the last time. Chmielewski scores again for Mary Lutheran. Is there anything else you want to tell me about Sidney since you're here? Sidney's kind of a loser. Megan Wallstad knocks down the... no, Sidney's not a loser. Yes, they're kidding. If you didn't pick up on it, they're kidding. I don't think you call a 2-time state tournament champion a loser.
No, not at all.
So it was Sydney's cousin Alyssa. If anyone's watching. No, Sydney. I'm sure they're here. They all love Sydney, and yes, well, this is supposed to be fun, right? And we're not afraid to poke fun at ourselves. Hamling missing the layup. Wallstad hooking up with number 20, Julia Bjurman. There's Shea Oman out of New London Spicer. This is the three-pointer. What about you, Alexis? Were there any losers at Coma Park on your team?
No,
I hope
definitely not.
No. Does that, now that they mention it, I'm not sure Michaela was all that.
I know.
No.
It's so funny because, you look at all the different players, and I know as a coach, and I know these players' coaches will miss them dearly, and that's definitely one class for me. It was my very first class, so I'm gonna miss them definitely too.
Hamling, that looked a little ad-lib. That wasn't for Rachel Hakes. She hits the three. It's 29-19. Evan Hamling. Ooh.
It looks like Rachel got a crowd of her little own.
Hakes, yeah, she's got her Woodbury teammates out here. Well, it's the All-Star Series. Everyone shows up, as we've seen, including all of Sydney's loser friends. Good. You shouldn't have given me that ammunition because I'm going to roll. No. No, as you can attest to, it's hard to win one state title, and I'm sure as these Goodhue players next to me can attest to, it's hard to win two in a row.
Yeah.
Hamling, well, the white team is zoning in on her defensively. Shea Oman no good. And here's Fett, Loder, and Peschel going in for the white team. Rachel Hakes gets back up. Well, you see that. I saw the Hill family here for the first game. I see the Jarnett sticking around. Megan Sieben has a fan section. This is a big deal for
It's just
Minnesota.
good to see a lot of kids come out and support each other. Even if they're not on the same team, they always come out and support. And that's one thing I'm starting to love about Minnesota basketball.
And there's a few exceptions. Taylor Hill and Nia Coffey, Rebecca Dahlman, they got to go to the McDonald's All-American game. But for the most part, this is the big one. To make the McDonald's All-American game, you got to be at another level to do that. Absolutely. Hamling to beat the buzzer. And that's not to say these players aren't at that level, but that's a national event, so it's not
absolutely.
just you don't have to. Whoa! Christy Fett, she's had a couple bunnies go empty, but it's one thing to compete at a state level. It's another to make an impression at the national level. Paige Beckers will probably get that McDonald's All-American nomination.
Absolutely, I think so.
Kelsey Peschel sinks the three, 29-22. Christy Fett showing her defense there. Rachel Hakes, she can go coast to coast if she wants. She'll kick out instead to Bjurman. Bullseye.
That's 2 assists on threes right there.
And we'll have a substitution timeout. All right, Goodhue teammates. What's a fun story you have about Sydney?
She's really superstitious before every game. Her and I, every away game, we give each other back massages before the game, and she has to sit in the same seat on the bus, and she has to put everything on her right side first, right shoe, right ankle brace, everything on the right side. And for away games, she usually eats candy before the game, so kind of superstitious.
What's her favorite candy?
Peanut M&M's.
Butter M&M's.
At least they know their teammates.
She likes the colored Tootsie Rolls really a lot too. She always has those.
Peanut butter and crispy are my favorite M&Ms. So, and what about on the court? How was she as a player?
She's a
and good, encouraging player. Yeah.
So definitely not a loser. And what's your name? We might as well give you a shout out here.
My name?
Yes, your name.
Oh,
Have a name.
Yeah, I'm Emily.
And the rest of you want to chime in here?
Mariah.
Kirsten. Alyssa. She's a freshman.
So Alyssa's the freshman who called out Sydney Lodermeier, a Miss Basketball finalist. Some players are just unappreciative. Did you have any superstitions, Alexis?
No, I'm pretty. The only thing that I think before the games I had to do was I had to for sure take a shower, literally right before the game, and I had oatmeal. Those are my only two things.
Kelsey Peschel knocks down another three for the white team. No bounce for the blue team. Peschel, she's going to drive. No. Bren Fox is going to stop her in her tracks there. Here's Lodermeier. Pulls a little hesitation move. Christy Fett. Does that bring back memories of the section final? Or wait, it was... Oh, you didn't play Lyle. Oh, you did in the regular season, right? So did that bring back memories? Is that what Christy did to you guys? Just put up blocks sometimes, a couple times. Well, that was a fun rivalry, too. Goodhue and Lyle-Pacelli for those years. Rachel Hakes scores a transit. This is what I love about the All-Star Series. You get to mingle with the fans, and you get to hear a lot of stories about these players and teams that you wouldn't hear anywhere else. Oh, laser pass from Brown to...
He loved it when they won. That's
I think every rivalry's like that. Because Cal, I think Stanford was your big rival, right?
Yep.
And you had to go against the Agumakays, at least one of them, I think.
I had to go against both of them.
You did have to go against both.
I've had to go against both of them. So but I was the year before Nicole Powell. Candace Wiggins was a huge one for at least 2 years of my career. So yeah, I mean,
before she wrote a book trashing the WNBA.
Yep. Roslyn. So I mean, they had some studs. That's for sure.
Bren Fox at the line shooting two. She'll go to Minnesota Crookston next year. Will major in biology and pre-health studies. Her pregame ritual: she has to roll herself out before every game, I'm assuming out of bed, and listen to Across the Universe by the Beatles and Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Because thunderbolts and lightning are very, very frightening. See,
Word.
I wonder if she's a big Wayne's World fan on that note.
Maybe.
So, you know what I'm talking about.
You kind of have to.
You know what I'm surprised you know what I'm talking about. The Wayne's World scene, the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Listen. First of all, I love Wayne's World, okay?
Party time. Excellent.
Seriously.
It's funny because we've got free throws. Stapleton going to the line. I'm going to hold that thought on Wayne's World because I'm going to talk about Stapleton, who will go to South Dakota State, where she'll join about 72 other Minnesota players. Pre-game ritual: her best friend, Claire Orth, and I fill our water bottles together before pre-game talks, every home game. So it's funny because I cut my chops with the cable access stations, and Wayne's World was a parody of it before YouTube was a thing. If you remember the SNL sketches, Wayne's World was a parody of those cable access shows, those low-budget programs, and then it turned into a movie. And thanks to that movie, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen charted higher than it ever did in its original release back in 1976.
Wow, I never knew that.
It peaked at number 2, all because of the Wayne's World inclusion. At the time, the song was considered so long that radio stations were hesitant to play it.
Which would make sense.
You don't get that anymore. And now I've become an inner Bill Walton. Stapleton launches a deep three, and that's no good. Alexis, this is the danger you have when you call games with me. You'll never know when I'm going to run off into trivia time.
That's true, but we always have fun, so I can't complain.
Goodhue missed the three. Christy Feck cleans it up. So it was only a matter of time before those Twin Towers figure out a way to hook up. In the case of Matamidi and Goodhue, as Fox goes back to the line, her teammates said they knew there was something special when they heard rumors of that big tall girl coming from Matamidi. So Bren Fox, the most important thing she's learned from the sport, never give up in the face of adversity. Because it's easy come, easy go. Will you let me go?
I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming. I was like waiting for it. I was like,
wait for it.
Wait for it.
If I'm not careful, I'm going to dive into the entire song verbatim.
Uh-oh.
Did you also know it's considered the first modern-day music video?
Really?
Because it was tough to play in concerts, so they recorded a promotional video, and that led to the birth of music videos.
No, I didn't. I'm telling you, you like need to go like on a trivia game show. You would like, you would be like my lifeline if I like went on a TV show.
So, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I'll be your +1.
For sure.
We got a deal there?
For sure, we got a deal.
Well, Wheel of Fortune is my strongest one.
Really?
So we've got Emma Schmidt. Let's see what we've got on her. She wants to major in psychology, reached the semifinals her sophomore year. Biggest influence is her mother. Coached her throughout elementary school and taught me the importance of doing everything for the glory of God, and that's something you get a lot of with these players, whether they go to private schools or non-denominational ones, public schools. A lot of these players, as Goodhue scores, they all have that devotion, if you will. A lot of teams, well, you know of it with the North Como series. They pray before every game.
Yep.
Maranatha does that, of course. They're
yep, we pray before every game on the court. I mean, for us, I think it's obviously it's a spiritual thing, but I don't think a lot of people think it's only private schools that do it. That's actually a lot of public schools I've seen do it more than even private schools.
And I think for a lot of players, Taylor Brown scores, whatever your religious affiliation is, I think it helps create that bond because
Absolutely.
You know, it's a way to, if nothing else, remind yourself that there are some things that are bigger than a sport.
Absolutely.
But there are very few things that are bigger than Emma Goodhue, who gets the layup.
That is a fact.
And Schmidt almost got the three in. 37-35, white over blue. And we'll keep it right here because we have a skills competition. So in the first game, we had the three-point shootout. This game, it will be teams that will go in and they have to complete a layup, free throw, three-pointer, and half-court shot. And the half-court shots are always fun because you never know when they're going in.
Wow.
So how is Sydney at half-court shots?
She's really good. Like one time she made 5 in a row.
She's been watching Steph Curry tape, hasn't she?
Probably.
What's your favorite memory of Sydney as a player?
Probably like after last year when we won state, we went into the locker room and our coach had left like a really sweet note on the board, and we just like sat by each other and cried for a long time together in the locker room.
I got another question. Would you mind taking over and I'll just go get some snacks?
No thanks.
Not quite ready for the commentary yet.
Yeah, no, I would not be very good at that.
This is going to get interesting. I'm like super curious to see who actually wins this one.
Well, in this one, it's different because with the three-point shootout, you have an idea who's going to be you're going to call up. Here, it could be anybody. So the Stars and the Stripes will go first, and again, it's layup. Now, Ayoka Lee's in the layup position. She's recovering from an ACL tear, so this is going to be fun. Because like you said, it's not just one shot. You have to get players who can do it all.
All of a sudden, they on it.
And this is where it gets more unpredictable because you got to make that three. And Rutledge does that. Now it's half court time. Touche. And this is where it gets fun. Winds up. Nope. That was close. Yes!
Woo!
It only took 3 tries, but the Stars team wins the skills contest. And now the blue and white team will go at it.
Who you got in this one?
Like I said, this is a tougher one to figure out because with the 3-point shootout, you know who the sharpshooters are.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to see DeAndre Jordan out there,
Of
for
course.
example, or but you know, like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, James Harden. But here, like I said, you have to have shooters who can do it all, and you don't really practice half-court shots. But this Goodhue team said Sydney made 5 in a row, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. So Callie Grimm with the half-court shot. All right, let's see what happens here. Well, it didn't take long for the white team. Oh, 3 for 3. They're going to go in their half-court set already. Loader fires. Nope. Holman will try to make it game. Hamling doing the same. Hamling on the first try. Hamling wins the 3-point shootout, and she hits the half-court shot to win the skills competition for the blue team. So the blue and the Stars will go at it. I think I know who I'm going to be interviewing after this one.
Yeah.
I think if I don't, you're going to go track her down.
Both teams ready to roll.
So here we go. Blue and Stars. And here comes the 3-pointers. Again, this is where it gets tricky.
There they go.
Blue team already. Hamling, can she do it again? Oh, almost. They're going to keep feeding it to her. Here's Lodermeier, who can knock them down. No good.
Like, it's like perfect. Like, I think it's going in every single time.
Who's it going to be? You know the Lynx do this for $100 after every practice.
We actually do too.
At
We
Phoenix?
do too, yep.
How many did you get?
At least 3.
What did you do with the money?
I don't remember. Knowing me, probably got some food.
Hamling!
For 2!
She got it! And the Goodhue players next to me are stunned. They don't know what to say. So are you a foodie then as a player?
Yeah.
I suppose, though, when you're a professional, you've got the high metabolism now. You have to
I know.
monitor yourself.
I know.
And actually, a lot of players, well, Lavessa can attest to this, and a lot of coaches were former players in college and in the pros. They have to do that because, there's no one on them with nutrition, and it can be. Because a lot of players talk about getting bigger after they leave.
Well, I mean, you're so used to being in the gym all the time that you never really thought about like what you were necessarily eating. Even me now, like I'm like back in the gym, like I'm actually working out to get to another team or something. Like as
I want to know what Heaven eats.
Oh, I know, I know.
So we've got 20 more minutes of all-star action, and Heaven Hamling, Stephen F. Austin, oh boy. Maybe she's been watching Steph Curry tape.
She's definitely been watching Steph Curry
tape.
I mean, I told you the kid can shoot.
So that's pretty cool, though. You've won 3 half-court contests with Phoenix, and you were only there for 2 years. Imagine if you had spent another year there.
I know.
I mean, you should have held out. You would have had Brittany Griner on your team.
Well, it's funny. Actually, I was in camp with Brittany that year, and I hurt my ankle. I almost broke my foot, so I was out.
Well, but who knows? Then you wouldn't have made your way up here.
That's true.
And I never would have gotten to meet you.
That's true.
Actually,
That's true.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if meeting you was such a good idea. Here's Kelsey Lawn.
Now I caused you trouble.
She scores the layup. Well, no, I do enjoy having you along because, as you said, there aren't too many WNBA fans you can talk to up here. And Loder, spin move. There's an acrobatic highlight for you. Did she do that to you guys?
No, but I loved her shoes. Like the whole season, she's been wearing these green
lime
shoes.
green?
Yeah.
That's one way to stand out. Well, and you know, in the pros, the shoe game is a big deal.
Absolutely.
The customs, all the designs, and in the 2016 playoffs, the Lynx all wore purple to honor Prince. Prince is kind of a big deal up here. You're from Oakland, so you probably had a few musicians to choose from.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So here's Sydney Lodermeier, the woman who eats nothing but peanut butter M&Ms before games. And the things she's learned, the memories and bonds created off the court will impact you the most. She'll go to Winona State next year, undecided on a major, but wants to pursue a career in the medical field. So we're going to go up here because Ayoka's still recovering from a knee injury. And Ayoka, I know you weren't able to play in this series, but you finished as Byron's all-time leading scorer, and you had quite a performance in the quarterfinals. What did it mean for you to have the season you did?
It was really fun, you know, just being able to share that with my teammates and, yeah, just having such good teammates to help me get there. Yeah, it couldn't really have been a better season. It was really fun.
Outside of getting a chance to play. And I know you're recovering, so I don't know what your timetable is to play for K-State, but what does it mean for you to go from a small school in Byron, not many folks have heard of you, to get the chance to play D1 where you'll get to play alongside Chrissy Carr, who has been an outstanding prospect as well?
I'm really excited, you know, just to get the opportunity to improve my game at that level. It's really exciting, and yeah, I can't wait to go and play with Chrissy and all the other recruits and players that are already there.
And what does it mean for you to get selected to this event and get to take part in the pageantry, even if you can't play?
It's really an honor, you know, just being able to get to know and like hang out with all these talented players, because there's a lot of talent here, and just being invited here is just an honor.
And I saw you still got to take part in the layup line. I suppose being 6'5" helps. What do you credit to your blocking and post abilities? Because you had that double-double, 7 blocks in the quarterfinal, and I'm sure you would have liked to have played in the rest of the tournament, but what do you credit that to?
I mean, being tall helps, but
Pose.
yeah. But I think what I've learned from my coaches is just being smart is a big part of it too, and talking on defense and just knowing where people are so you're able to help, you know, and just having that communication.
And how cool was it to take part in a clinic with Lindsay Whalen and Rebecca Brunson alongside you?
That was really cool. Just getting to meet Lindsay Whalen was really cool, and yeah.
One day you'll get to wear that Lynx uniform. What's your favorite memory of this All-Star series?
My favorite memory is probably just hanging out with all the girls and going bowling. That was really fun, and just getting to know such amazing players and people.
Speaking of the camaraderie, I know your bowling abilities are limited, so you got a little bit of help in that aspect. What does it mean to mingle with all of these players? Some you played against at high school, some on AAU, but here you're all teammates.
It really means a lot, just being able to sit down and talk to them on a different level other than just playing with them, because you don't really get that opportunity. And yeah, it just kind of shows how great they are, not just as a player, but as a person.
What are you going to miss most about playing in a Byron uniform?
I think I'll miss just my teammates and the community the most, just because it is a small town, and yeah, it's a really good community, and they're really sweet.
What are you looking forward to wearing the purple and white at K-State?
I'm really looking forward to just getting the opportunity to play with those athletes and getting the opportunity to improve my game.
Is there anyone you want to say hi to?
Hi, Mom.
Congratulations on the selection, Ayoka, and best wishes in your recovery, because I think we all want to see you play when you go to K-State, and we all want to see you rack up those big block numbers. But you do leave as Byron's all-time leading scorer, so you got to make a little history there. And glad to see you here, and we hope to see you back in full force soon.
Thank you.
It was Ayoka Lee of Byron, and let's get back to action here. 48-41. I heard Hamling knock down another three, and who else has stood out to you so far in this one?
Right now, she is a bucket getter. I mean, she's doing it. I mean, she's coming off screen.
She's been doing it all throughout her career.
Yeah, but it's just like she's turned it up to a whole nother level. You can tell she definitely came out here to show when and why she should have probably gotten Miss Basketball. Obviously, Wellsted got that one, and she's definitely deserving.
It's tough. I've noticed when it comes to Miss Basketball, it often comes down to your postseason performance. And Wallstad winning one for Eastview, I think that might have been the last push.
Absolutely.
But Hamling, Hybe, you look at the finalists as Bren Fox scores. Lodermeier 1-2 for Goodhue. I mean, it's not an easy choice. And
no, not at all.
We certainly.
And they all bring so many different dynamics to the game.
Right.
It's crazy.
I mean, 4 of the 5 finalists this year, 3 of the 5 won state titles, and the other 2 didn't, but they left as all-time leading scorers at their school. Here's Rachel Hakes. She'll shoot 2. Hakes going to Fairfield in Connecticut next year. Her biggest influence is Ellen Weesey, who's now the coach at Eden Prairie, former coach at Orono, and Megan Kirchenwitz at Woodbury. They said they helped her refine her skills, see the game in different ways. And when she wasn't playing, she would often go to Suburban East games and scout. And LaToya Turk told me that Hakes is a coach on the floor. She has a lot of smarts about her.
You can definitely tell that obviously she wants to develop and she wants to continue to develop her game. This is probably the one minus thing I will say about most players, that obviously they are really, really good at what they do, but they can't turn it off and become really
Hakes
good
is more of a guard.
Yeah. So.
Did you call her a post?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
No. I just said other players.
Oh, other players. Okay. Did you ever think about playing the post? Did you ever try?
I did play this. I played the post probably until I almost reached 7th or 8th grade, and I just stopped growing.
Wonder what happened there.
I don't know. And it's funny because I'm actually the smallest in my family. Everyone else is over at least 6 feet. My brothers are all 6 feet. My sisters are at least 5'10". My mom is tall. My mom's 5'11". My dad's 6'2".
Maddie Giebert had the same thing. She, of course, twin brother is Drew, and she jokes that Drew took all the height away, but Maddie has a killer three-point shot. We saw that in Eastview, and it's no different at South Dakota State. Wallstad hits the short-range floater. And Wallstad, we mentioned the school leader in rebounds and blocks. She also holds a school record for highest field goal percentage in a season. In her junior year, hit 65%. This year, 59. And Eastview, this is why they're a contender every single year. They work on fundamentals. They are fundamentally sound.
Absolutely.
Free throws.
Absolutely.
They know how to take efficient shots. And it's no surprise when you see their players with field goal percentages in the 50s or higher.
Absolutely. They take full advantage. And actually, that's really how they win the majority of the games.
Well, they had an undefeated season this year, 32-0. I mean, that's crazy to think about. Hopkins, they have all those state titles, including 3 in a row, 4 in 5 years, but never an undefeated season. And the last 2 years, they lost to teams that pulled that off. Elk River a year ago, Eastview this year. And Grotehouse got it.
You always hear from those teams about undefeated seasons and the myth of the undefeated seasons. And I was telling the players obviously as a coach you would love that, but as a player sometimes they used to call Dre and those guys used to call it a jinx, because you are always thinking about the next game, and sometimes that's tough.
And especially it can be, because the more you win, the more we're gonna the more media folks like myself will talk about it. And in a sense, no one likes to lose, as Katelyn Strand gets the scoop to fall. No one likes to lose, just ask Cheryl Reeve, but I think for a lot of teams, getting that first loss out of the way is almost a relief.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about
absolutely.
people bringing it up anymore.
And you always hear most I guess most things that are broken are because of like the jinx. Like when you like make 89 free throws in a row and then someone like says something about the free throw and you go, oh.
Oh, yes, the announcer's jinx.
Yep.
I've never believed in that because when a team is out on the floor, they're not thinking about what we're saying.
Obviously, yeah.
But, after a game, when the Lynx win 11 or 12 in a row and the numbers keep piling up. In high school, it's a little different. You don't have throngs of media coming after you. Taylor Brown scores in transition for the blue team. But an undefeated season, no matter what class, what level, it's really difficult.
Absolutely.
It's really, really difficult.
It'll be interesting to see a lot of the different programs, especially all the girls moving on. It'll be interesting to see how all the programs continue. Obviously, Eastview will still be a contender, that's for sure.
You figure Eastview and Hopkins are probably your front runners. Lakeville North,
sure.
They find a way to get to state every year out in Section 1. And I've noted this, the schools that have built up that history, that pipeline, that's why you see 4 or 5 schools get to the 4A tournament every year.
But you look at their youth programs,
Yes.
Lakeville North and Lakeville South, Hopkins, Eastview, you look at their younger programs, and their younger programs are phenomenal. It
funnels their way up, there's a funnel.
Absolutely.
Latoya and I mentioned this several times. I mean, that is why some of these schools continuously perform. Other schools working to build that up, and it can be tough at places that don't have a lot of history.
Absolutely.
And that's why we mentioned the state tournament titles, so Peschel and Thiessen getting one for Sauk Center, Cooper winning one. You see that state title on Orono, even though they had a rough year this year.
Yeah, but
it's going to bring attention to those younger kids that you speak of that will be a part of your youth program, and then.
And not only that, most of those programs are like usually out, and so like for example, when you look at Hopkins, there's really nothing out there besides maybe Minnetonka, and so you end up choosing. Whereas I think it's a little bit more difficult in the cities.
Emma Schmidt with a little
razzle-dazzle.
Yes, razzle-dazzle agility. Loader through the hole, looking for the answer. No good. Brown. Out to Schmidt. We got an encore? Not quite. Sheoman, won't get her the second time. So Emma Schmidt with back-to-back buckets for the blue team. I don't know if we'll get to 100 this time.
No, unless they have like a 40-point quarter.
It's possible.
Definitely.
Heiderscheit missing the three-pointer. Strand fires. Low arcing shot, no good. Emma Schmidt making a case for player of the game here. While with Heaven Hamling on the bench. So the blue team takes a 13-point lead. Bjorman. Loader works her way free, can't get the layup to fall. Brown thinks about it. 3-second difference, shot clock to game clock. That's a line I don't get to see often in high school ball.
No, never.
Bjorman blocked from behind by Sieben. 10 seconds. The blue team has time. Sieben doesn't have breakaway speed, but they set up for Brown. Missed the three. Schmidt gets it off. Well, she had a strong end to that third quarter. Blue team up 60-47. And it's always tough to figure out who the contenders will be next because you have graduations. You never know who might come up or who might have a breakout year. Sarah Scalia comes to mind this year. But if I were to guess, as we mentioned for a Hopkins and Eastview, Stillwater could be a team to watch because with Cretin graduating a big senior class and the rest of the Suburban East, not a lot is known about it. Stillwater's got a good chance, although Mounds View put up a fight. They swept Cretin Durham Hall, so they could be a dark horse.
Be nice
they could be a dark horse next year. And they have a new coaching staff. In 3A, I would think Cooper would be a favorite again. they're not a tall team, but they're speedy, they're scrappy, and that was on full display. And they also have a player who knows how to win, Kiara Buford, only the second player to win a state tournament as a player and coach. De La Salle, maybe you guys.
Oh.
I don't want to boost your ego too high. But
I know.
But you've got Ronnie Porter, KK Asbury, Shania Nichols. She's got a year under her belt now. You'll have to somebody's got to replace Van Et's three-point shooting.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I think we got some great pieces, especially coming up. And we got some kids that have been there, obviously, that wasn't able to play, like Jalen Smith this year. So we'll definitely be, the scrappy team like we always are, and we won't be as big as like we never are. But we'll definitely be able to compete.
And Holy Angels, you have to figure they'll be in the mix.
Absolutely.
With Destiny Oberg going to Arkansas. Frankie Vassalero had a great freshman season. I probably shouldn't bring up the 31 points she put on you back in December, but Frankie's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
And with Matamidi, they're going to rebuild a bit. The Metro East, maybe Tartan and Hill Murray. I know Hill Murray had a solid team.
Definitely Tartan.
Well, Tartan in 4A, of course, they'll have to get past Stillwater in Section 4. Minnehaha in 2A, you can never count them out.
Never.
Maranatha, they're going to lose Jacqueline Jardin and Kylie Post, but they've got Desiree Ware, Kayshana Barth Lofton. She had a great junior season for the Mustangs. So 10 more minutes.
I'm going to put Roseville in that mix. Even Whiteberry, they both had really good seasons this year. And
right, Roseville got to the semis.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of kids that they have, they had some really phenomenal kids on their JV program that were coming back from injury. So I'm excited to watch them as well.
Maddie Loader hits the three-pointer for the white team. I should point that out. Now for Roseville, what will be curious is what's going to happen after the controversy that erupted.
Of course,
there are a couple of players. As Bjorman knocks down a three, makes it a 7-point game. From what I've heard, a couple of players will transfer elsewhere, so we'll have to see how Roseville handles their situation. But White Bear Lake, they have a strong coach in Jeremy Post. Woodbury, Solo Amusain, she showed some promise this year. I imagine she could be what Rachel Hakes was. And there's Sydney Lodermeier. The Goodhue players love that one.
Yeah, they'll be. I think that Woodbury obviously always has to be in the mix because, like I said, they're just like the Hopkins and the Minnetonkas, where they have really good youth programs. So I'm going to assume that they'll have some great young talent that'll come in and definitely contribute.
Rachel Hakes puts back her own miss there for the white team. And we'll have to see. So Roseville, they have a lot of talent coming back. The question is how many will come back.
Right.
Because that when you're put on blast like that, you and I mentioned this beforehand, there are three sides to every story.
Absolutely.
But if it ends up causing some players to leave, you're going to have to compensate.
I think that their core will return. I don't foresee
UGAS,
that.
I think she's sticking around. Jada Johnston. Roseville's a team you can't sleep on.
No.
So I think Stillwater and Roseville will be battling for that Suburban East title.
That's for
Christy
sure.
Fett hits the fadeaway. Park Center, they've got some young talent.
Wyzetta, like we talked about, obviously is coming back
They
with
are
everybody.
going to have vengeance on their minds.
Yeah. Obviously.
They will not look past anyone next year.
No, not at all.
Chmielewski for three. That's short.
I'm actually excited. I'm hoping that Wyzetta and Hopkins have like a preseason game or something but I know that they probably won't.
Well, they don't do preseason per se. They might do a jamboree scrimmage, but they do get the conference meetings, and I might check out those matches myself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Evan Hamling strips Hakes, and then Hakes says right back at you. Two guards not holding anything back, even in an all-star game. Lodermeier. Biding her time.
I said this at the beginning, I love the seriousness of the players. Everybody's taking it very serious, really trying to show their skills, playing great D, trying to figure out how to defend.
Right. Well, look at Peschel there. She blocks Hamling. 5 seconds. Ball did not hit rim. Emma Schmidt She's been doing a lot of cleanup
She's had a
work.
great second half.
High-low. Once again, when you've got a 6'5" post, just feed her the ball.
Feed the beast.
And that's what she did a lot this year for Lyle-Pacelli. Christy Fett second in the state in scoring. Lodermeier, deep three, that's short, and Loder will let that bounce out. Ullman and Groothouse going in. And of course, with 1A and 2A, scouting the field there, especially in April, is always tough because with the smaller schools, it's just tough because most of them are out of state.
Yep.
You know, Lyle-Pacelli comes to mind, and Sauk Center. You don't get to see them that often. Roseau, though, with the Borovich, I think there's 2 more Borovich sisters that will come back. Casey and Katie. And Casey had a strong year.
Yeah, she did.
Fett, no good. Emma Schmidt. Where did she come from? She's everywhere. Emma Groothouse out to Fett. And it's Peschel who gets the finish for the white team. Evan Hamling trying to break some ankles. Finds Chmielewski to the rim.
That kid got some vision on her.
I don't think there's a more fitting name for Heaven than Heaven.
Seriously.
One of the most fitting names. Kind of like Franny Hottinger at Cretin-Durham Hall.
No.
Ullman missed the three-pointer. Well, when you're as talented as Franny is or Heaven Hamling, having a name like that just adds a little sweetness to the pot.
Absolutely.
As Scott Jarnett decides to order a DVD on the spot.
Yes, yes.
I feel like an illicit deal just took place.
It did.
Well, you know what they say, video is a very powerful drug.
It really is.
Everybody loves videos. That's why so many coaches ask me to cover their games, and then afterward, you and Willie and everyone bugs me for the
I know
for the
I
game
know,
video.
I know.
And I figured out why, as we have a substitution timeout. It's because they said we like, we like watching game film. We like it more when you have with your commentary.
Seriously. Sometimes you gotta have it on loud too, just so you can hear everything someone says.
Then you can call me out when I sound like a fool.
Yeah.
Actually, Willie thinks I could coach. I'm like, are you crazy? And I said, are you crazy? No, Willie and a couple of others think I have a high IQ for the sport.
You definitely do.
And I don't know. I think you guys are all drinking something. You played in the trenches. All I do is just watch.
Oh, see.
So I'd have to compensate for. Evan Hamling with the steal. Oh, Brown to Hamling. Yes! That's my play of the game. I don't care what happens. As the mask would say, that was smoking.
Yeah.
And Sidney Stapleton is smoking from three-point range. 68-64. Could we have overtime in an all-star game?
We might. The way these kids
We've never
are playing.
had one.
Really?
Well, it can't end in a tie, right?
You definitely can't end in a tie.
This is basketball. This ain't hockey or soccer. There are no ties in basketball. 6 to shoot. Brown's got a fire. Ball hit the rim, so a fresh shot clock. Evan Hamling, 3-ball. Hand up in the corner. Wallstab with the rebound. Stapleton again. Pure!
She's bringing them back.
1-point game. I don't know who I would pick from the white team.
They've had actually a really complete game as a team.
You've got Stapleton on the outside, Fett down low. The blue team, Evan Hamling, has been everywhere. Strand fires. No good. Another offensive rebound. Evan Hamling.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And I don't know who this guy is next to me, but he's on point. Heaven is a beast. What's your name?
Emily's dad.
You're Emily's dad, so you're a Goodhue guy. Well, no wonder why. No wonder why you've got a good eye on basketball. You're from Goodhue.
We watch a little, yeah.
Evan Hamling. Miss basketball finalist. Can't hit the free throw, but it is a 3-point game. And I can pull this out. And we'll go to the blue team. Biggest influence, her coaches and parents. Of course, her mother is her coach, was, I should say. Pre-game ritual, gets ready in the same order, same socks and compressions every game. Washed, of course. Just like how Michael Jordan washed his North Carolina underwear before every game if you saw Space Jam, which I did about 50 times.
I think everybody did 50 times.
From our generation, anyway.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
Five to shoot.
Big shot here.
Hamling, she gonna get it off?
Yep.
Almost went in. If that went in, I think we all would have just said stop the game right there. Hakes left alone. That would have tied it up. 2 minutes to play. The white team showing some full court defense here, trying to get that stop. Sieben, this will be a dagger. That's no good. And we could see a little strategy play out here. Loader out to Hakes. Stapleton was feeling it before. Oh, almost. They're still going after it, and Hakes will shoot free throws. This is an all-star game. I don't think the white team is thinking that right now.
No, this is championship.
Rachel Hakes. One of many to come out of Woodbury. They won a state title, of course, in 2003. CC Keeger. Cam Veenbos was another one. They had a pretty good senior class a year ago.
I'm curious to see if any of the coaches are going to call a timeout, if they're going to try to run a play or they're going to try to win this thing.
I don't know. They don't have the timeouts up on the board. But it's a one-point game again. All right, let's see what happens.
Is it the takeover?
Well, and again, there's a shot clock here, so the blue team can't just sit on it. And this is what I'd like to see down the road. Lodermeier, no good. Loader with the board. Here's a chance for the white team. It's been a close one throughout.
Bang out.
Look out.
Woo!
What? Sidney Stapleton. You've got to be kidding me.
Uh-oh. They just need to get a stop. They just got to get a stop.
Well, now the blue team, let's see what they can do here. Evan Hamling kicks out. Brown with the answer. No good. White team can't sit on it, though.
Well, you figure they only need to they can get a score here and get a stop, and it's the game.
And apparently just one foul for both sides. I don't know if they've been keeping track, so the blue team would have to foul repeatedly here. We shall see.
Well, some free throws. So
Hakes was going for the dagger. Yeah, that could be. Well, even though there's nothing at stake in terms of records or points, there is some bragging rights on the line. And for someone like Rachel Hakes,
yeah, for sure.
You always want to end your season with a win. Even though for most of these kids, there'll be plenty more chances to get wins and losses.
That's for sure.
To get wins, I should say. You don't want to lose. Hakes makes both. 2-possession game, 25 seconds left. The shot clock is off.
Here she comes.
So let's see what happens here. Evan Hamling Can't sit on this too long, trying to work her way off the screen. Lodermeier finds a cutting Sieben, and nice by the white team, and I think that'll be enough.
Oh, yeah.
So how about this, a comeback in an all-star game?
Oh!
Well, not quite yet. Loder throws it away, so it's not over yet for the blue team.
Knockdown.
Hamling catch release, no good. The clock. Brown deep three, that's short. I think now it's official.
Yeah, definitely.
Comeback for the white team. What an end. Well, that one, Hamling a second late there, but
that was
a fitting ending to the
game.
2017-18 high school season. A come-from-behind win for the white team,
Definitely.
74-70. Sidney Stapleton with a barrage of threes, but we got a great showcase. Heaven Hamling, what that play with Brown, the no-look, that was a beauty.
I mean, it was some great shooting, some great scoring, and some great defense.
So we'll pull up a few players from this game to have a chat with us and then put a bow on the 2017-18 season. Alexis, it was great to get this send-off or spend it with you, and when you're not coaching, I wouldn't mind having you back on the mic again.
Oh man, I love being with you and spending some time, and I'm glad I got an opportunity to watch this.
Did this cure your boredom?
Yeah, it did actually. Now I can go rest.
Now you can rest and start preparing for next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll bring up some players for one more interview and wrap it up. This is the 2018 All-Star Series at Third Bland Court in Carleton College here in Northfield. And I'm joined by Sidney Stapleton to my left. To my right is Christy Fett and Heaven Hamling. Sidney, that second half, you were knocking down threes and taking names. Were you feeling it?
Yeah, I was just super excited for this last game in my jersey, and I just wanted to go out with a boom.
You certainly did, and helped lead a comeback effort in the second half. I know this is an exhibition game, but to have a comeback performance in your last game in a high school jersey, how cool is that?
It was really special. I mean, obviously our high school season didn't end the way we wanted to, so it was just really nice to end on a win now.
And you'll be headed to South Dakota State, joining a lot of other Minnesota recruits. What led you to join the Jackrabbits, and what are you excited about?
It was definitely the whole coaching staff and the feel from the other players when I went on my visits. I'm probably most excited just to be around with the girls and just have like that basketball family there.
And how cool was it to take part in a clinic with Lindsay Whalen and Rebecca Brunson?
I just remember when I was super little, like always saying, "Oh, Lindsay Whalen, Maya Moore," and like I'm pretty sure they signed one of my shirts one time. But yeah, I was super excited to see them in person and get to ask them questions.
Well, I think you added some more signed memorabilia after today.
Yeah.
And your favorite All-Star memory?
I think just being in the room with all the girls or going bowling and just the bonds. Yeah.
How are your bowling skills?
Subpar.
And that's probably why you're going to college for basketball, right?
Yes.
Stick around, Sidney. We'll get back to you in a moment. Christy, you ended your career with a state championship. Today you got hook up with a couple of towers and Emma Grotehouse, and you did a lot of damage down low. So what is it like to end your season with a talented group of girls like Sidney, Heaven, and everyone else you got to mingle with?
It's really great just to work with a bunch of all-stars and stuff, being with other players that are beside your team, people that you're not used to. You're making new connections and new friendships on the court, so it's awesome.
Now this year your coach took a job in Nebraska but wanted to give you guys a send-off, made that commute. What did that say about the commitment he did, and how did that feed off to you guys where you were able to complete the season with a state title?
I think it says a lot about how our team has a really big family motto and stuff, and his passion for the game is super, super strong, and we've gotten so close as a team over the years, and this year's the closest I think we've ever been. So, I mean, just the want to be there for each other and to go and get it done one last time was incredible.
And how difficult is it to go against someone like Heaven, even though it's an all-star game, with the moves she's got on display?
Oh, she's crazy. I tell her she's like my favorite like point guard ever, all of her moves and stuff, and being with her in AAU and stuff, so I know.
Oh, so your AAU teammates?
Yeah, I know how good
Minnesota Stars?
Yep.
That's right. So, yeah, you know what she could bring then, too.
Yep. I knew I didn't want to guard her, so I did not want to.
I don't want to guard her either. Now, I asked Sidney this, so I'll ask you this as well. Getting a chance to run a clinic with Lindsay Whalen, Rebecca Brunson, how cool is that?
It was extremely cool. They were really, really cool, and they were really funny. It was nice to kind of meet them, and just talk to them about their experiences with basketball, and because it can kind of relate to ours, and they're at the higher level, so to get experience and advice from a top player like that is pretty amazing.
And your favorite memory from this All-Star Series?
I think bowling was pretty fun. Definitely bowling.
How are you as a bowler?
Average.
Average. How is Heaven as a bowler?
I don't know. Remind me.
That's a story I hear frequently. Heaven, speaking of you, maybe you didn't get a win per se in this one, but you had a couple of nifty plays, including that no-look transition hookup with Taylor Brown. Did you practice that?
We've been AAU teammates this past year, so I don't know, we're pretty good friends, and we wanted to do something cool, so I guess that just kind of came out.
That instinct certainly did come out. And, you got Grand Rapids as far as they ever did, I believe, in postseason play, reaching the semifinals. You end as the all-time leading scorer at Grand Rapids. What are you going to miss most about being in that orange Grand Rapids uniform?
Definitely just trying to prove our best throughout the state. We don't get much people to come to our games up in Rapids, or we don't get the best teams to play always. So coming down and playing the best of the best in 3A and showing what we can do is probably the best thing that happened, because it gives other players a chance to see what it's like other than up north.
Indeed, and with you being on an independent conference, you have that luxury. How hard is it going to be now that your high school career is over? You're not going to have your mother alongside you on the coach's bench.
It's not going to be tough for me. I think it'd be more tougher for her, but I like having other coaches. I mean, sometimes we get on each other's nerves, but I guess for my high school career, it was fun having her around, but I liked having Josh Hirsch and all the people with the Stars helping me out along the way, and it's good to have a new variety of coaches telling me and make me a better player in person, so it'll be good.
And speaking of the community camaraderie, what was it like to mingle with 42 of the state's top seniors, where you get to reconvene with AAU teammates and you get to make friends with some players who have been opponents for so long, like Carmen Bacchus and some of the other folks that you've faced over the years?
It's really awesome. I mean, when we're playing the game, we say, oh, I hate that girl, or oh, she's not that good, but once you get to meet them in person, you get a whole nother perspective, and you don't hate them anymore. You're good friends. So just knowing that we all came friends in the end, and we got to end out on a good weekend and have fun bowling and staying in the rooms together, it's really awesome.
Well, I guess, Christy, was that the same case with you and Sydney Lodermeier?
Yeah, definitely. I thought maybe one time we'd actually get to play with each other instead of against each other, because I'm going to Mankato, she's going to Winona, so we're going to be playing against each other for the next 4 years, too.
Sometimes you just can't get away from a rivalry.
Right?
Well, unless you go to Texas like Heaven is and just get away from everyone.
I'm playing University of South Dakota, so maybe I think there's some Minnesota commits going there, so.
Or maybe Heaven just couldn't stand us anymore and just needed to get out of here. All that snow in the Iron Range. And then I asked these two, but for you, what was it like to run a clinic with Whalen and Brunson and get a chance to work alongside them for a couple of hours?
It was cool, because when they talked to us, they gave us kind of a perspective on what's ahead for us. So just knowing it's going to be tough, but in the end, it's all going to work out well, and we're going to have the times of our lives. It's just it's awesome knowing that that's going to be ahead.
Now, this might be tough for you because you had that, acrobatic move with Taylor Brown. You had a couple of half-court shots to win the skills contest. What was your favorite moment?
Probably bowling, because not that good at it, but it's just kind of fun. And
You mean half-court shots aren't fun?
Oh, well, yeah, like the half-court shots are fun, but like just being around like the other players and stuff, getting a whole new perspective of everybody's like personality and how they do their stuff.
Well, I'm excited to see what all of you do in college, and you guys put on a great display. This is why it's fun to do this every year. You want to say hi to anybody?
Hi parents, hi grandma, grandpa, hi friends up in the Canadian area.
Hi Mom, hi Dad.
Hey, Grandma and Grandpa, Mom, I guess Dad, Taryn. Hey.
Well, thanks for stopping by. Congratulations on your senior season, and all the best for you as you move on to college, and I can't wait to see what you guys do.
Thank you.
All right. That was Sidney Stapleton, Christy Fett, and Heaven Hamling, and that wraps up our coverage here for the 2017-18 season. So until November, enjoy the spring and summer. I'm Mike Beaton. Thank you for watching.